Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing Alienware's OLED 34-inch ultra-wide. If at any point during the video you want to check out this exact same monitor, there are Dell.com links below, which is the only place you can purchase this, I believe. But let's get this unboxed. Now, Dell Alienware always has the best unboxings, but oh my god, am I excited for this one. Okay, so 2 pieces of tape, then flip it down, and then flip it up. Super easy. Fantastic. Now, because this is a very premium monitor, we have a bunch of stuff, some paperwork, and the color calibration sheet, which is absolutely fantastic. However, we absolutely expect that to be perfect at this price point. Then we have a USB Type A to USB Type B, a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort, a typical DisplayPort, an HDMI, and then we got your power cord right there. It looks like it's an internal power supply, which is what Dell does a lot, but this is really nice, and so is this. And then here is the bottom of the stand. There it is in that beautiful, like white, off-white color. Absolutely stunning. This is a very pretty and very well-designed stand. Now moving on to the top, this part is incredibly heavy. That part wasn't too heavy, I was actually surprised. But this part of the stand is very heavy. And this is overall, that is a way nicer stand than you would get on high-end LG monitors. Pulling this out, oh man, look at that. Alienware on the side looking fantastic. You can actually feel it as well. All matte finish on this, which is very pretty, a matte white finish. Then on the front, we have these kind of numbers to show you where you are. That's just to look cool. And an interesting design back here. I've never seen a clip-in stand be this small. It'll be interesting to see how it's VESA mounted since this is so small. Very interesting. We can also see that it's gonna rotate back here as well as swivel. This is a very unique stand, probably an expensive one to make. All right, now to put this in, it looks like we have a very cool thing that I'm incredibly excited about. As if you see here, cable management goes under the stand right there. That is a really good design. We're gonna have to see how that plays out on the desk, but it looks like it's gonna be really good. All right, so just a thumb screw, that's all you gotta do. Just screw it in. Overall, this stand is absolutely stunning, and the cable management coming out at the bottom is awesome. Okay, that's very cool. All right, moving on. We have a little Alienware box right here. Very premium just for some papers, just some more paperwork and stuff like that. But you get a little box for it, okay? If you're spending $1,300, which I'll put it right here if that's not the price, but I believe that's the price, you're gonna want this. However, LG's $1,300 IPS ultrawide, this is obviously an OLED, was definitely not this premium as far as the unboxing experience. So far we're looking good. All right, and then in here, it looks like we have VESA mounting screws, although we're gonna have to find that out. And then this may be a VESA mounting bracket if they have that interesting stand design. Yeah, and it looks like I was correct. So this is how you're gonna VESA mount it. It looks like that just clips in, which is nicer than like what Scepter does. They also do have VESA mounting brackets, but there's always screw in. So this is just a clip-in one. And you got your VESA mounting with your VESA mounting screws right there. So that is actually very cool. And then this looks like a cable management cover, which I've seen on other Alienware monitors before. And yeah, so this is the back cable management stand, so all the cables are gonna come through here. That's kind of cool that they do that. I really appreciate it when brands make their products to actually be on a desk and look nice. So that's something cool. All right, but honestly, who cares about all that stuff? You wanna see the panel, and so do I. Let's lift this up, and there it is. We're just getting a glimpse of how sexy the back is. Look at that, a very cool design. I believe this is gonna be RGB. We'll see if it actually hits the wall or not. But let's get this stand right away and do the clip-in on the back of this. Lock in the top first, press down, and we're clipped in. Very good. Okay, and lifting this out of the box. On the desk, I'm gonna say one thing that I appreciate a lot. The stand's actual width compared to the screen is small, and that's a good thing. That gives you a lot of real estate, and it doesn't come past your monitor's screen very much at all, which is also very good. But let's lift this plastic off. Here we go. Okay, a lot of protection on this, which I would expect. We got some bubble wrap around the front of it, which is very nice. Now look at that. Now, big difference here. Basically every screens are matte. This one looks glossy. It is an OLED, so we kind of do expect that a little bit more. However, it's very strange to see, but I'm so excited about it. One thing that you notice right away from typically using an IPS, which is what I use, is come over here, so you can see just how thin this is right here. I mean, this gets a little bit thicker back here, probably for airflow, but this is very thin right there. I mean, not even my finger. That's pretty cool. I think it's unnecessary, but I think it's cool. All right, let's get around the back and let's check out the ports. So we have the power right here, which I typically don't like on opposite ends, but I don't mind it here because we have this amazing cable channel. As you can see, this stops it. and then forces it out right here, which it then goes down. That's going to be so cool. Okay, then down here we have a USB Type B, 2 USB Type A's, an HDMI, another HDMI, a display port, and then we have a 3.5mm audio out. But let's just stand back a second. I'm gonna almost guarantee that this lights up. This is some sort of, is that the menu system? No, that's the stand. Don't press that in. Don't do that. Don't do that. And then we have the RGB around here, but it just looks beautiful. And if you're spending $1,300 on a monitor, probably the most beautiful ultrawide that you're gonna get. LG is nice, it's not like this. All right, but before we get it on the desk, start doing the tests and initial gaming impressions, let's do the stand. Okay, so first of all, we've got height adjustability. It feels very nice, very linear. Overall, not a ton of height adjustability, but I don't mind it. This is gonna work for me perfectly, but it doesn't get super high. So if that's something you want, not the setup for you, you might wanna go for that VESA mounting. Then we have tilt adjustability, which gets very, very tilted up. Not a ton tilted down, but not a big deal. And then we have swivel, which is built into that stand. All these movements are very premium, very nice, and very linear, which is good. And we even have rotation, so it only rotates to there, and then it rotates to there. So that's really just to level it on your desk. A lot of ultrawides do that. But let's get it set up, do the initial impressions of the monitor, initial gaming impressions, and ghosting impressions, because it should be like the lowest ghosting ever since it's an OLED. Let's do it. All right, guys, and turning the OLED on for the very first time. The power button is over here, exactly where we like to see it. It looks like there's gonna be a bunch of RGB. Let's see. Clicking it in. That looks absolutely fantastic. They do a great job with diffusion. Here we go. Now, I also found that the menu system is kind of back here where LG would put it, which is perfect. So I'm gonna click that in for English. It also feels very nice. It's smooth, kind of glossy. There we go. It's up on the screen. Right away, it looks good. Doesn't look fantastic because that brightness is not all the way up. I can already tell it. And if it is, then we got problems. But I don't think it is. Okay, so let's go into the menu system. Has Dell updated the menu system a little bit? Interesting. But let's go into the full menu system. How do you go into the full menu system? Is it up? Yeah, it's up. Okay. Then we have some preset modes right here. That means that little thing means that it's saving energy, and we don't want that. No one likes that. So we have a creator mode, which is interesting. So yes, increase the power. That looks like it decreased the power, but let's continue. So it has the color space DCI-P3 and the sRGB, which is very cool. We're gonna keep with DCI-P3. Now let's go into, is there a custom mode on here? Yeah, we have the custom color down there. So we're gonna go into, we have HDR 400 and HDR Peak 1000. That is pretty cool. We're gonna switch it into that, but I believe that only changes it when you're in HDR. Obviously. And you see G-Sync display connected because this is a full NVIDIA G-Sync Ultimate, which obviously you expect at this price point, which actually isn't that much money for what this is on paper, but we'll see if that's legit with the review. All right, so going into brightness, this is at 75%. Let's go all the way up to 100%, and that did get brighter. I don't know if it's as bright as I was expecting, but let's test it. The other weird thing I'm gonna note right now, because it is white and it's easy to see, the bezels on the top do not match the bezels on this side, which is a little bit strange, as well as the fact that the black bezels kind of continue going. Even when you're in Windows and stuff, that doesn't go away. So it's a little bit strange that these are not matching the top. That kind of does bug me, but that will fade away in gameplay. Let's test the brightness in SDR content, 600 nits. Well, that just shows you how hard it is in a very bright room, which obviously, as you can see that this is, 600 nits is a lot, that's good. However, does that beat out LG? No, it doesn't. They're also doing that, but the black levels, okay? Let's pull up the black levels. The screen is not on except for right there, which is absolutely amazing. And that's what in a dark room will be highlighted a little bit because this is an OLED. Let's go right away into NVIDIA control panel. And this is doing 3440 by 1440p. So we're pretty much keeping with the typical resolution of most 34-inch ultrawides. And then we're gonna change this to 175 hertz, which I actually didn't know that it went to that. And then we're gonna go in here and see if it can output 10 bits of color, and it can output 12 bits of color. Never seen that on a monitor before. I don't even know how they're doing that. I didn't know that there's any monitors that can output 12 bits of color. Maybe that's just some wizardry. Maybe now it's actually legitimate. Well, now that I do it, you can only output 8 bits of color. Let's apply it with 144. Okay, so you have to be in 144 hertz, which is probably the native refresh rate, and then 175 is probably, don't quote me on this, but probably is an overclocked refresh rate. So if you want to do 10 bits of color, you got to do 144 hertz. Kind of a bummer, but not really too big of a deal. I still don't know what that 12 bits of color is. If you guys do know that, comment it below and I'll pin your comment. All right, but let's stick to 175 hertz. But yeah, obviously very smooth. The black levels are fantastic. The curve is also a nice curve, a pretty typical curve. Nothing crazy, but I think it's a good curve overall. If it's more curved, it's gonna be a little bit more gamer. You're not gonna be able to use it for creative style work, which I appreciate. This is a good amount of curve. All right, but let's jump in game and see how this thing games. I'm expecting a lot. Also, doesn't have internal speakers. It's actually not even coming up here, so I'm gonna guess no, it does not. I just wanna say it is so refreshing to have a glossy panel rather than a matte panel. That's very cool. The clarity that comes with a glossy screen, not just being an OLED, but the clarity that comes with a glossy screen is amazing. And someone actually commented about that. I think in the last video they talked about the matte finishes. I am gonna do a video on that because they're absolutely right. That's not talked about enough, but this is absolutely stunning. Not just because of the resolution, but because of it not being a matte finish. It also seems very, very fast. It seems like the input lag is incredibly quick. I mean, this feels very fluid. Pair that with 175 hertz, which is definitely faster than 144 hertz, slightly noticeably. I wouldn't say most people would notice it. I would say few people would notice it, but when you use enough monitors, you notice small things like that. It is a beautiful panel. These lights glowing beautifully. It's absolutely stunning. It really is. The overall picture quality, because of one being an OLED and two, not having that matte finish, that's a game changer right there. I mean, it truly is. This is so fun to game on and absolutely crystal clear, but we're gonna test that with ghosting. I've said, oh, it looks pretty bad and then it's super bad before. So we'll see how it is, but I'm expecting it to be quite good. If it is not absolutely perfect, we're gonna have problems. I am holding this monitor to a very high standard, and also I might upgrade it to my personal monitor, although Dell sent this to me, so I might have to buy one myself. Man, I just wanna sit here and look at it because it is so beautiful. The sky, this is a high-end monitor with a price tag that really is not that high end. And I know you're gonna be like, get off your high horse, but I'll explain it at the end of the video. But let's do a ghosting test because we know it games incredibly well. It is so fun, I don't wanna stop. I really don't wanna stop. But yes, we have to do a ghosting test. Let's do it. I also do wanna mention really quick, they were basically spot on with the rating for their brightness. If they're spot on with that 1000 nit HDR performance, that's gonna be big as well. All right, let's do the ghosting test. Okay, right away, there's no ghosting. Now, when I actually check, because this is an OLED, they're supposed to have like 0.001 millisecond response times. Don't quote me on that again, but that's something like it is. Let's go into the settings to see if there is actually any response time settings or if they were just like, you don't need them. I would be fine with that. Here is the lighting on the back, obviously. That's gonna be in the full review. Subscribe below if you wanna check it out. Yeah, it looks like, okay, so we do have OLED panel, pixel refresh panel. I don't know what that means, okay? We're just gonna stay away from that. However, let's see if it has, it'll probably be in game enhanced mode, no. Let's see if changing into FPS is gonna change that. Nah, it just made the colors look weird. All right, we're gonna go back into custom color, which looks fantastic. Without calibrating anything, it looks very accurate, but guys, okay, give me the camera. I'm gonna show you guys. This is the lowest ghosting that we have ever seen on the channel. There's none. And I don't mean there's such a small amount that there's not, like there's literally none. There is no ghosting at all. And that's what you get with an OLED. Now, the one thing that we haven't talked about is burn-in, okay? Now, I do wanna say, I do not know the specific OLED technology because there's a lot of different technologies. I don't know the specific one, but my experience with OLEDs is they burn in. And it's not something that happens if you accidentally leave something, that just happens over time. But is that a problem? Obviously, yes, but with this monitor, probably not. If you're spending $1,300 on a monitor, you're probably not gonna keep it for more than 5 years. And that would probably be the top end. I mean, if I bought one of these, I would probably keep it for probably a year. So if you're that kind of person and you're buying something this expensive, maybe not be a problem. But in the future, when OLEDs start becoming affordable, it may be a problem. But talking about affordability before we go, is this overpriced right away just from using it? I'm gonna say no, not at all. LG's Ultrawide that's 34 inches, their very premium one is $1,300. It has a similar max brightness, but it is an IPS monitor. This is an OLED, a more expensive technology that has fantastic black levels, the best response times in gaming, incredibly low input lags, and an overall more beautiful picture. Even though the LG was unbelievably beautiful, this is so much better. The glossy finish mixed with these unbelievable blacks, this is one of the most beautiful monitors that we have ever seen on the channel, and for $1,300, I am considering spending my own money on it just to be able to use it every single day. This is something that Dell and Alienware, or Dell Alienware, is going to absolutely destroy the game with, but we'll have to see after my long-term testing and using this monitor every single day in my review. I am not going to go easy on this monitor. But again, if you do want to check it out before that review, there are Dell.com links below if you can go pick it up or just check the specs out. But I do say wait for the review just because there may be some issues. I don't know. But yeah, absolutely stunning. I don't want to take my eyes off. But this was Type C Tech Review. Subscribe below for the full review, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Very excited about it.